the way I see it is all of this stuff, martial arts, combatives, combat sports. Well, more so the self-defense and combatives. It's kind of like the analogy I like to use is like the seatbelt of a car. You know, you have that seatbelt there. It needs to functionally work to protect yourself. You don't often get into accidents, but man, when you get into accidents, that seatbelt better hold you back, and that airbag that's there better go off. You know what I'm saying? So I think what you're doing is kind of like that. You're teaching these clients.
I use the seatbelt also because some people they say like, yeah, I don't need your training. I'm like, why not? Yeah, I never bump into violence. And then I refer to your seatbelt theory, and I said, okay, so you're driving the car.
Yeah.
You can also say, you know, fuck this. I don't need a seatbelt because I never had an accident.
Yeah.
How stupid is that? You put it on. So the fact that you said it's all in us.
Yep.
My training is geared around the fact that I want you to connect with that part, right? Because some people, the majority of people, I have to say, they are trained to be nice all the time, right? Aggression has no place, blah, blah, blah. If you look at, and that's going to be a different discussion. I'm not going to start it today, but I want to touch it lightly. If I look at social media, I look at what the government is doing, and like globally, they really want to bring the strong males down a little bit. You know, I'm not telling you that I'm pro this or pro that, but the fact is that it's easier to control a mass that's not in touch with that part, but it's part of our survival instinct, right? Yep. So Jordan Peterson says it always great. I cannot quote
he's good. He's good.
He is. But you can only be a real man in my book, and by being a dangerous man that has it under control. You know,
right.
Somebody's threatening me, and I try to de-escalate, and if in my brain like, okay, I want to try to de-escalate him because I don't want to put him in the hospital. It's different. So if I could de-escalate this, and I probably do that, then I'm happy. And this guy has no idea how lucky he was, right? But if you are an absolute pussy, to say, and you're not in touch with this aggression in you, the fuck are you doing then? You just pray for the best. I hope he will never attack me. You know what I mean? Yep. So how can you provide for your family and protect the people that you love if you're not able to touch that aggression? How is that possible?
Yep.
So people shouldn't see aggression as something dirty. It's so needed for your self-preservation, but understand that you don't use it for the bad things in life, for the good things only. I'm not hating the individual in front of me because I hate him.
Mm-hmm.
I switch on my aggression because I love everybody that's behind me.
That's right. Yeah. It's a big difference. There's a big difference. Yeah, you're using it as a tool. It's your security system. It's there to protect yourself. Now, I love this, man. I guess it's a twofold question. What really frustrates you in the self-protection industry, in the martial art world? How can you and what are you doing about it to fix it? I kind of know the answer because I'm following you, so I know the answer, but I'd like you to answer that. And then secondly, what makes you different than all the other self-protection Krav Maga instructors out there? You know what I mean?
Right? I don't know. The number one thing that annoys me about the self-protection world, but also martial arts, combat sports, is the ego.
Yeah.
And even the people that are really close to me showed ego until the point that I was really disappointed. I'm not calling names, but it really showed me like, wait, some people still don't have their ego in check. And it was just disappointing. And then just, I was considering to stop teaching and doing it for a while. But then I said to myself, no, then people crush my passion. They cannot win because of ego. I'm doing this, and I'm probably meant to do this, you know, because it feels like this. It's a burning passion in my heart to make people better, right? What I'm doing about that is I walk away from the ego. Yeah, and then I mean, don't get me wrong. Ego, I have ego because you want to get known, you want to get out there because you want to reach the people, right? But it's not the bad ego. I don't feel anything special. The fact that I can fight or in the heat of the moment can do what I want is just I think lucky with genetics. Also, my training kicked in. Also, I have a job that I can test all my stuff. I do not feel anything special. Let that be clear. I know what I can do. I know what I cannot do. But the only thing that I think is special is that I don't capitulate when there is fear. I switch on and I fight, and I'm a fighter. I can say that, and I have a big respect of for the people. Doesn't matter if it's traditional martial art, combat sport, or combatives or self-protection. If they have the same open mind, people like you, for example, that understand that I'm not a hot shit. I'm not really cool. I'm not anything special. I just need to learn. You want to be always a student. There's so much in the self-protection world also. People think it's about them. And there's one instructor, he agitates me so much, really, until the point that I need to stop looking. Then he has his own website, and then he's holding a gun and then a blade, and then he's really looking and he's selling it as the ultimate self-protection combatives hero. And then he has a seminar and he says, there's going to be hardcore stress testing going on. And then what do you expect? Then he has a ladies training. And then he shows like it's going to be 2 hours of stress testing, blah, blah, blah. And then he had to cancel it because nobody came. I mean, you're missing the point. It's not about you. It's not to show you how cool you are and how good you can move. It's about the students, man. Yeah. Really. Yeah. Don't glorify violence. It's fucking horrible. It's disgusting. Yes. Yeah. Sometimes I get sick of my own bullshit when I teach. It's always about the mindset. It's always about the aggression on the switch. It's always about this. And then for the people that come for one day, they really thank me. It's an eye-opener for them, right? And then for me, it's the same. But I hope they see it in perspective. I really try to make them understand. But the fact is that it's not about me. It's not about urban combatives even. You know, it's about reaching the people and make them understand that there is so much shit they can do, you know?
Yeah.
And then when I see this egotistic people acting cool in front of the camera and think they are hot shit, because you're not, man, really. You're pushing the people away. And that's kind of disappointing, because that's the reason combatives attracts warriors. And I want to reach the normal people too. And of course, I cannot teach them normal combatives from, I have to take them apart and teach them. But the point is, I teach this stuff to build people. Makes sense?
Yeah.
And then the ego, if it's not about them, then I don't mind. Also, in my private life, I'm seeking at the moment for to become the ultimate student again. I just found a gym. I didn't tell them what I do. I hope they never bumped into my social media. So I hope that I can sneak into the class and then just train there for a year, you know, just as a student, and to talk about MMA and wrestling, right? And I did that before, but I just want to do it again. I just want to be the student. I found this fucking great wrestler guy from the Netherlands. He's MMA fighter. He's stopped. He's 40 now. Wow. He looks like a humble dude, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel instant connection with him. And I never met him before. And I hope and I will connect with him. But I hope they never find out. So I will email them from a secret email, probably. You know what I mean? Otherwise, they always have.
Well, they're gonna find out in this video, bro.
Yeah, hopefully they don't see the video, but it makes sense, right? I want to get away from the ego, also in combatives, also the people that are really close to me. That's why I built some distance, you know, let me do my thing. One day I will make my full-time living with this stuff, and then based on honesty.
From my point of view, you're a leader in the self-defense space, but what distinguishes you from others? What's your distinguishing factor?
Because the difference is, because of course I'm teaching urban combatives from Lee Morrison, my mentor. I owe him a lot, right? He is. I
want to talk about him too.
Okay, because let it be clear that he gets his credits, right? But what the difference between me, if I look at other self-protection instructors, because in the beginning they always told me, you're copying Lee, you're doing this copy, blah blah blah, and of course, because I learned from him, I copy, but I cannot help that we have a lot of similarities going on, because he probably does something with his pinky. I do the same, but I broke my hand in the fight. You see, knuckle is gone.
Yes.
This tendon is snapped. You see?
Yes.
So automatically, this is how my hand works now. So when my head, this pinky goes out, and then people say like, "Yeah, you're copying him." This is literally who I am. Then I have the genetics, but also the training to become very explosive, right? That's also something that Lee has.
Right.
And my English is, I was teaching that myself. It was
oh wow.
So
you speak great, man.
Much appreciated. Probably
Yeah.
Dunglish, Dutch English, but I try to get
Dunklish.
it out a little bit. Yeah, Dunglish. But also, I listen to Lee and I copy because this is how I put it in my brain. Because in the beginning, I was thinking, shall
You're
I
learning.
translate it into Dutch? And then I said to myself, no, I will not teach in the national seminar circuit. I will teach in the international seminar circuit. So I need to teach it in English anyway. So I installed it in English. Makes sense?
Yeah.
So, but after years of teaching this, I found my own way. And why is it my own way? Because some things fit my body type more, some things that are my experience. Because I am just lucky that I also have the real life experience and I can test it in my work stuff, right? So what I see with the so-called self-protection instructors, they just collect cool techniques. Recently, I saw one instructor that knows urban combatives because he is an urban combative, or was an urban combatives instructor. I don't know exactly if he still is it, but he's now adding martial arts to it, like complex motor skill, Thai boxing, and then make a combination. Yeah, okay, it's all fine. You can do that for an MMA fighter. You can stay cognitive. He does this without thinking, but that's not combatives, man. Combatives is the condensation of all that cool shit, and it keeps it simple and gross motor instead of complex motor skill. Because when heart rate goes up because of adrenaline, when it's induced by adrenaline, your complex motor skill is deteriorating. It's gone. It doesn't matter how good you are, you will stay with gross motor skill only. So don't make things cool. Don't all of a sudden, with your boxing combinations and your tiny and your cool elbow, and all of a sudden you add a bite, doesn't make it new. It doesn't make it combative. It just makes it martial art with some dirty tactic. Is it really doable on a real fight stress if you don't fight one-on-one? If you fight multiples and maybe a weapon? I think it's just acting cool, want to find a new thing. There's nothing new, man. It's all said and done. If you look at urban combatives or combatives in general, they use this stuff since World War One, or longer even, Don't make it so awesome or new technique or new this or new that. No, just find your way, how you teach it to your students. And I think I found my specific way. It's maybe some blunt for people, maybe some in their face, but that's who I am. I'm always not the most subtle dude. I'm straightforward. But what I can do is teach people and I can build the students. And I see it happening all over me because all around me, because the students that I teach, they really become good. I have people that could not move and now move great. I can use them as an example. I always use them as an example. If you look at my girlfriend, she was always interested in martial arts, but now she becomes really proficient in what she's doing. Beautiful body mechanics, aggression on the switch. She uses in her work.
I can see that. Yeah.
And until the point that she was training to do a boxing competition, and I told her, knock her out. So we worked on impact dynamics. We always do that, right? She can hit very hard. I was sparring with her. And during the sparring, because I have a lot of experience also fighting in the ring. And when I was sparring her, you don't make me nervous that much, right? So I take the hits, and then once in a while, I just hit her on the lip and hit her on the face and hit her hard, because I know she needs it. And she hated me for that. Training. She was training 4 times a week boxing in a boxing school. So I sent her first to my kickboxing trainer, and then after that, she found her own boxing school. That's her journey, right? I need to support her in that. But by testing her and also fighting with her when I'm switching on my aggression, so I'm like, and then come forward aggressive. She said, you see, you're doing it again. You give me that aggression again. You see, I'm like, yes, I do that, but you need to get used to it.
Yeah.
Just fight against a girl, it becomes another day at the office for you. Then she had recently her first fight, and then she knocked her out cold. And then she got the prize of most offensive fighter. I'm so proud. Yeah, exactly. But it shows the principles of combatives, or urban combatives, mindset of a predator, hit hard to get unconscious, because that is what got her through, right? And that's not self-defense. I see that, but it's nice to see them connect with each other. Make sense?
Yes.
So what I mean with that, also with her, if you talk about the emotional aspect, in the beginning, years ago, I was with her in the forest and she could not reach that aggression. Then I make her understand that at one point, why she needs it. We talked about it before. Then she found a different emotional state. She started to cry, and I said, stop the crying now. Now you state excess of crying. State excess aggression. What is the thing that makes you aggressive? So I summed up some things that really made her pissed at the time, and from her youth, from her past. And then she got it. Then finally, in that specific moment, she understood aggression on a switch, and now it's part of her, right? So probably the difference between me and other instructors is that I'm honest about it, and I'm open for your feedback. I don't feel anything special. I do not tolerate ego in my class. If I see it, then I kick the people out. It's a safe environment, but I really push them out of their comfort zone and
Yeah.
get the unfiltered version. And it's again not about me; it's about them. I think that's the difference that makes the difference. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, there's always somebody better than you, stronger than you, and
Yeah.
that's what the egotistic guys, the keyboard warriors. I love to fuck with them. By the way, I always react on them and always, try to. And then they say
Yeah.
you have an ego problem, and then I'm like giggling, and I'm like, no, because I like to annoy them. But it's always their ego, right? If you look at
Yeah.
their comments and you read really, if you look at it like closely, you see that they struggle with their fears and their ego, and it's fine. It's fine by me. But I
Yeah.
always invite them to come to my gym, show me how it's done, and then we walk away as friends, probably, right? But nobody
Yeah.
does
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
does it. One said,
Yeah.
I want to fight with you one-on-one. So I replied to him and I said, I have a very nice soundproof box, and I gave him the address. I can pay you $2,000 on top and give you a 5-star hotel. Please let me know when you're available. And I promise you, if he would come, I pay. We fight, we
Yeah.
film, and then
Yeah.
afterwards we're friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then his ego got checked, or mine, fine by
Yeah.
me. But I don't mind to brute. If you beat me up, you think I care? You think if I go to wrestle to that new trainer guy, you think that I have a chance? He will fault me, and I will say thank you for making me tap over and over again until the
Yeah.
point that
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
become
Yeah.
better, 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 and then say thank you for your knowledge, my friend. Fuck your ego, really.
Yeah, no, it's true, man. I'm pretty chill too. Like when I was a kid, I was insecure, but now, you know, I've assembled kind of like the dream team here in Canada with all my guys. I got boxers, kickboxers, wrestlers, combat sport guys. They're all my friends. These guys are all my
Awesome.
friends because
Yeah.
they've checked my ego. They can beat the crap out of me,
Yeah.
and they've learned some stuff from me too. So we're all help each other, man.
The point is, as long as they do the same, if they keep
Yeah,
an open mind too, right?
yeah,
Now you
yeah.
have a brotherhood going on from specialist, man. Now it
That's
becomes
it.
really legit. If you do a step back, there is no secret. The
No,
secret is pick each other's brain and learn and evolve together, right? That's the whole thing about it. But a
yeah,
lot of people say they do, but they don't actually do.
no,
Because I still think, because I have guys coming to my seminar and they say, man, this was life changing, it was
yeah.
really cool. And then the next day they start teaching their fine motor skill bullshit that is never possible under stress again. It's fine if you sell it as some martial art, not that martial art is bullshit, but I'm telling you that complex stuff will disappear under real fighters. But do not sell it as the most devastating self-defense system of the world, because now you're lying. And
Yeah,
then
yeah,
I have a problem with that. Because
yeah,
then try to evolve. And that was happening, for example, with the Krav Maga guys. There's this really big, well, I have a Krav Maga seminar coming up soon in the Netherlands, and it doesn't happen that much in the Netherlands for me. Normally it's abroad, right?
yeah,
And then one guy breaks away a little bit now from the Krav Maga Federation because it's money making. I'm not telling you that Krav Maga is bullshit. I'm not bashing it. There's
yeah,
very good Krav Maga out there, but I also see big organizations making big money with a lot of bullshit techniques. It's all money making machine, and you cannot blame them. They do the marketing way better than me. They make way more money than me. But again, I told you I'm a straightforward, honest dude. I do not do that because I want to sell you realistic stuff, not the bullshit. I would sell my soul to the devil if I would do that in my book, right? But fact is, he invited one of these guys because he looked at my stress test and he said something like, "Yeah, this guy cannot fight because he has no technical approach. Doesn't his technique didn't look well." And then I'm talking about me getting tired. Then I have to go into a bar scenario with 6, 7 scenarios to fight on 30% of my maximum capacity. Right? How can you stay proficient and technical in that stuff? That's the reason that we use
yeah,
pre-fatigueness and become dizzy first before you start your stress test,
right.
because nobody is very cool if you deal with violence on the street or for real. Then you're never fresh. It's always when you are dealing with emotion and the
Yes.
adrenaline and lack of breathing, etc. But the fact is that he talked about the technical approach, and now know he was never in a fight again. And then he didn't want to come because it's just rubbish. I mean, so he doesn't know. He's not open-minded, so he thinks that his technique will interfere with my techniques. Then I know this guy cannot fight for shit. But understand that there are instructors and that teach people. They teach people that Krav Maga is the ultimate system, and there's this and this. If you have an instructor that doesn't allow you to train with others or cross-train, you should walk away. That guy has no idea. He has an insecurity problem or an ego problem or both. And I think you should train with everybody. even the biggest bullshit system can teach me something. They can teach me how not to do it.
Yeah.
So I want to see it all, know it all, learn from you, talk to you. And if you cannot do it, and if your instructor is so negative about something he doesn't know or tries to bash it for a reason, what are you trying to compensate, mate? I don't mind. Because I want to come to your seminar all day long. But those who come to me now, it's not about ego, but then the egos are always involved.
You become to put your ego in check as you get older. I mean, at least that's my experience. I'm 54 now, and bro, when I look at all the bullshit that goes on, this is my face. I'm just like this. I'm just like, okay, you go have fun with that, man. So I'd like to talk about mentors. So Lee Morrison. I actually didn't know that you guys were connected till recently. I started seeing your work. So I mean, I've seen your work all the time, but I didn't know that you guys, I didn't put the two together because I thought you two guys were doing two separate things. But I want to start by saying, like, I really value and I appreciate your relationship with Lee, because I've had a lot of martial art instructors before. And a lot of them I connected with in different ways, but there was one that stood out, and he's passed away now. His name is Vic Arnold. And he was my last Kempo teacher, and it wasn't what he taught me, it was how he taught me and what he wanted me to do afterwards. So he basically said, he says, listen, man, he goes, I know you're cross training. He goes, I know you're cross training at Sam Lumpini gym, and you're doing kickboxing and MMA and Savad and all this kind of stuff. He goes, show me what you're learning, man. Show me some videos and show me this instructor. So, I took my phone out and I showing him and stuff. And he says, he's pretty good. And he says, listen, keep going. He goes, if it's making you happy, keep going. He goes, but do me a favor, bring it back to me and we'll train it together so I could learn and we can all mix it up and get you stronger. How could you say no to a guy like this? You know what I mean?
That's what I mean. He got his ego in check. What a legend.
Yeah. And so he's passed now. And, I get emotional thinking about this guy, but that's why when I go out in the seminar circuit and I travel internationally and also locally, I always mention him. And I carrying on his thing. So give you an example. Like, I know I want to know about Lee, but I just want to tell you a little bit of background here. So in my last black belt test, one of the requirements from one of my guys was, he has to cross train with my guys in my network. So I invited some instructors over here. He has to cross-train in BJJ. He has to cross-train in striking. He has to do a bit of combatives and this and that. You know what I mean? And that's what Vic wanted me to do, right? Yeah. So my question, I know that was long. So my question to you is, explain to me your relationship with Lee. How is he your mentor and how you guys clicked, man?
Yeah, he is literally like a father figure for me, and I was at the time I was dealing with a big fight. I was fighting against 7 military people, and I snapped off my bicep. Oh, no, bicep was a different thing. This was when I broke my hand, I broke my knuckle. After that, I was so disappointed in my martial arts because I was Thai boxing at the time and doing jiu-jitsu and judo, and nothing came out. I mean, what came out was the hitting part, the Thai boxing part, right? Yeah. And I literally sat down and I wrote down what did work for me. I was aggressive, I was hitting hard, I was keep on moving, and it literally brought me to the principles of urban combatives. So I was literally on YouTube checking. Then I met this English dude, right, Lee, and he was talking everything I was feeling, and then was talking about adrenaline effects, and I'm like, fuck, I experienced this also, and also in security I experienced that. I'm like, wait a minute, this guy is a lot of shit I already knew from instinct, right? But he gave it a name, and I'm like, I want to train with this guy. So I went to him, at least I approached him, and I said, can I train with you? And he was so polite to email back, right? And then he said, no, I don't have urban combatives in the Netherlands, but you can train with a Krav guy called Branimir Tujan. And then he's using a lot of my principles. So then I contacted that school, and they sent me to the Department of Amsterdam. And then I ended up with Ronnie Ali, one of my friends and Krav instructors. And that's a solid individual, man. He knows the game. He knows how to wrestle. He knows how to box.
Yeah.
So I was doing this. And within 6 months, he approached me. He said, you want to teach in my class? I'm like, really? Can I do that? So I started to teach in that class. That is Krav Maga Amsterdam. Krav Amsterdam. And he gave me the first opportunity to teach. And then I was already doing martial arts from the age of 10, 11. And then there I was teaching Krav Maga, right? And then after a year or so, 1.5 years, I was thinking like, shit, I still want to do urban combatives because I like this Lee guy very much. So I approached him, and until the point that I was following him in the international seminar circuit. So I'm one of the old school instructors that really was with Lee for years, right? I was traveling. I was just checking every Facebook page. He has a seminar in France. I went to France. Then he had one in Germany. I went to Germany. Then I had one in Sweden. Then I went to Sweden. I was stalking him. But at one point, he recognized me and he said, yo, can you help me? Can you assist me? So I became his assistant, right?
Yeah.
Then later on, Jamie, that is also one of his brother, Jamie Miller, very good guy from the UK, is one of the senior instructors too.
Yeah, I heard of that name.
Yeah, he's a nice guy, very solid individual. But Jamie wants to be more on the background, I guess. He's more convenient there, right? But he's a technical guy, man. He's clinical. He understands pad feed, pad drills. He's like a technician, right? Solid individual. And then I connected with Jamie too. So it became us two helping a lot in the seminar circuit, you know. And at one point, Lee was starting with his instructor courses. And in the end, I just did the instructor course because I want to become an instructor. But I was traveling and I was with him for years, and I was doing private trainings. And every time I could travel, I traveled with him, right? One time I went to Southampton for 1 hour training and went back, you know. I walked into the class and said, what the fuck are you doing here? I'm like, yeah, I just want to experience this, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, how bad do you want it? And then Lee spent extra time to me, and then we really became close. And then to the point that we had this COVID bullshit going on. So there was a gap in a couple of years that I could not see him. And I really, it was painful, man. I really wanted to see him, but I could not be with him, right? And then after that pandemic, I traveled to him. And then my views were up. My channel became a little bit bigger. So I started to gain profile also in the international seminar circuit, because Lee didn't teach that much internationally. I was still teaching because I could drive with my car to Germany, and I had no problem doing that. So I was still building on my profile a little bit. And then I saw Lee the first time because of the pandemic, 2.5 years or something. And then he walked out of his house and he really looked at me up and down if I was changed. Like, you don't think I'm changed because of views or subscribers, right?
Yeah.
But it was instantly good again. And I saw, shit, this connection never left. So to be honest, I owe him everything. Without him, there's no UC Netherlands. Without him, there was no person that I am right now. But also, there are more people in my life that do this. Of course, my own father, but also my girlfriend, for example. She's a strong woman. She's supportive. She's filming. She knows my shit days. She can stay with me because I'm a strong man, right? I'm also that's not always good. I mean, sometimes it's also negative. She can deal with that shit, so she keeps me in control. I'm just thankful for the people like that. Makes sense?
Yeah.
So Lee is my mentor 100%. For example, Lee said one time in the clip, it was last summer that I was with him. We do some drill together. He's feeding my pet, and then he says, "I built this motherfucker." And then he walks away, right? And he actually did that, right? He did it.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, Richard Dimitri, for example, he said, no, it was not Lee doing it. I'm like, yeah, but you have to understand, it was Lee giving me the guidance. Yes, I know what you try to say. I really, Rich was not beating it, was not bashing it, but he said, like, it was you. And I'm like, yeah, but the combination Lee and me did it. I mean, I also worked for it. Of course I worked for it. 10 years, I'm investing so much time in this. So if people say all of a sudden UCNL is a big thing now, that it's disappointing a little bit, because somebody told me that recently. I'm like, how you mean all of a sudden? I mean, I invested 10 years of my time in that. I mean, it's not only urban combatives. It's man, you have no idea how much time I spent to show you guys this is what you should do, at least in my book, you know. And if you want to, you know what I mean. We talked about it, but. Yeah, how important is Lee for me? He's very important, until the point that I hate the fact that traveling is so difficult at the moment, because it's kind of expensive. Especially go to the UK, it's incredible. And I wish I could see him more. Yeah, let's say like that.
He's in the UK, right? And you're in
UK.
Netherlands. How much would a flight would that be from your place to his place? Like about a
Yeah,
grand or?
they have like 500. I think because he
Yeah.
changed his location is now 1.5 hour drive from Southampton, and before I could fly on Southampton, that was very easy to do, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
Uber, but now it's difficult. I need to rent a car. So if we go, we go by car and then on the boat. That is like so expensive at the moment. It's like around 400, 500 only the trip. Then I need to have the gas to be there. Then I have to be with Lee, and so it's all very difficult at the moment, right?
Yeah, yeah,
But it
yeah.
will not stop us. The only thing that is happening is that my marketing is a little bit better than you see, and I want to help him with that because he's old school. That's why I
Yeah.
love him so much. He's not lying; he's straightforward, but he's old
Yeah.
school. I need
Yeah.
to wake him up sometimes. Like nobody cares about 20-minute lecture. Just keep it
Yep.
short and
Yeah, it's
concise.
true. It's
Yeah.
it's the way of the land now, you
It,
know,
I mean, yeah, it's difficult for him to
unfortunately.
understand. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it, because he has so much good knowledge, but he's too how you say this? He's giving everything away. So he
Yeah.
should be more, how say this, reluctant with giving everything away. Just
Yeah.
understand
Conservative.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
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 He's selling gold. I mean, man, this man understands it so well. Also on the emotional level, he should not give it away. You know, it's gold nuggets he's sharing all the time. So, but that's my honest opinion, but I give him my biggest respect. I always give him, like you said before, I give him the credits. Also give myself the credits for the hard work.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
if I teach something and I know I have it from Lee, I give it to Lee, of course, and I do it with everybody. You know, we also use concepts from Geoff Thompson. We used concepts from Shivworks. What's his name? Greg Douglas.
Okay. Yeah.
Greg Douglas is in my book is one of the instructors I want to train with. Such a brilliant individual. Also, we use his Southnark is his other name, Southnark. So we are using his contact management. So we always give credits to that. You know, so always give the credits to the people that deserve it. Make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. I'm like that too. Yeah.
Exactly. But too many people are just copying UC or copying something else, and they never mention it. Because I am teaching now this French people. They really want to work more with me. I did a seminar recently, and it was a very big success. And they want to have me back because they're really interested in UC. And then they found out that before they had a seminar with Lee, they were training with this French dude. And after a year of training, by coincidence, or maybe algorithm, you never know, Lee popped up. And then they looked at this material, and then they recognized that this French dude was teaching them UC without mentioning the name of Lee,
You see.
right?
Yeah.
And then they
Yeah.
were like, wait a minute, this guy is a scam. And then they went to Lee for a seminar. And
Yeah.
the spin-off of that, I went to that seminar too as an assistant, and then they want to work with me too. And then this is how it evolved into more urban combative training for the French people. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. 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 No, it's common courtesy to give credit where credit's due, man. That's how you just build currency with people, and that's how good things
yeah,
happen. You know, I
of course,
mean, you just got to do it, man. Appreciate it. Thanks again for your time.
you're
Guys,
welcome.
thanks for watching. I'm Chris Hansen, your host. If you like this content, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And please check out Urban Combatives. I'm going to put all the links in the description below. Stay tuned. All right. Thanks for watching.